Hello, my lords and ladies, and welcome to another episode of our Warhammer Darkwater series. We are painting Jacobus Vyne, our little wizard hero. First off, I want to say thank you to all my YouTube members. You guys are absolutely amazing. Can't thank you guys enough. Will get early access to this Sunday night sometimes. Sometimes YouTube takes forever for it to upload, but it will be on there. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button or not. Just watch the video or share it if you would like. Hit the thumbs up, hit the bell. But without further ado, let's go. All right, first thing you're going to do is obviously build your miniature, and then I am going to airbrush it all in a light gray or white, whatever you have. If you want to use rattle cans, you can also do that. It is up to you. And then we're going to do the face, the hands, and the feet. And you're going to notice that I forgot to do the hands and the feet, so it's kind of, we'll fill it in later, but do those areas with some Gulliman Flesh. Next, we're going to do that robe area, that top area. We're going to do a 50-50 mix of Aeldari Emerald and Lamia Medium, and we're going to go over those robes, the front and the back. And we don't want to overpower it with straight out of the pot Aeldari Emerald, so we're going to be mixing it to give it some translucent light through there, or paint, whatever, you know what I mean. For the next portion, just that little front area, we're going to do some Aethermatic Blue. Just fill that in there, make sure that that little design that's indented gets filled in as well. For the other portion of the robe, we are going to do 50-50 mix of Lamia Medium and Dark Angel's Green, and we're going to put that all over the robe. Again, mixing this Lamia Medium in there doesn't make it as strong. Dark Angel's Green can be extremely strong in blotch, so this kind of thins it out a little bit and makes it run on there a little bit more smooth. All right, for our black areas, we're going to do just a little bit of Black Legion on there. Just be careful, don't get that belt buckle. For the undershirt that's sticking out by the hands and then the bottom portion that are sticking out by the feet, we're going to use some quick Serphim Sepia. For our little owl friend sitting on top of our shoulder, or the miniature shoulder, we're going to use some Cygor Brown. Now keep most of your paints out because we're going to have to go back to some of them throughout the video. For a little pouch hanging down, we're going to use a little bit of Wyldwood on there. For our staff, we're going to do 4 different colors. So Mantis Warrior Green on top, some Militarium Green right below that, some Snakebite Leather towards the bottom of the staff, and then the Cygor Brown at the very bottom of the staff, mixing into that log that our hero is standing on top of. Now you want to do this in succession, and you want to make sure that it's still wet because you can wet blend it. And what I mean by that is when you put the color down to where you want it to, put the next color down below it, and then get your brush a little bit damp, and then you can mix the two colors together. And with contrast paints, it really works well, and it really sticks it together, and it makes it look like a nice smooth transition. It works especially well for the staff and how it's going to look in the end. For our wizard's beard, to include that mustache, we're going to do a little bit of a gray seer on there. Just be careful of the skin. For the belt buckle, we are going to be doing some Retributor Armour on that. Make sure you get the edges as well. And then for the sickle, we are going to do some Iron Warriors on that. You can also use that Retributor Armour on the portion that our hero is holding. It's up to you, though. To darken up the leaves a little bit onto our staff, we're going to be using some Creed Camo. It should mix in pretty well with the top portion, middle portion, and the bottom portion. Make it look a little bit, different colors, as if the fall is coming or winter, that little region. And then finally, we're going to use some Bad Moon Yellow into the eyes of our owl. We're only doing 2 washes as we come to this step. The first one is going to be Nulin Oil on all of our black areas, so really only just the sickle. And you can put this on the belt as well. Now for the staff, I'm just doing the green portions of Athnian Camo. You can do Aggaros Earthshade on the bottom portions if you would like. I did not, but you are more than welcome. And then you can also do some Aggaros Earthshade or Gulliman Flesh shade in the gold belt buckle as well. All right, coming on to the skin. Now, he does have a very small area of skin to paint, really just the lips, the nose, and the cheekbones. And if you can get a little bit on that forehead, that's good too. We're going to do Cadian Fleshtone and then Kislev Flesh. Now, his eyes are so small that I did not paint any eyes in there. It almost looks like he's got a droopy face, and the skin is kind of just hovering over it and blocking it. So I think it looks good without trying to paint in eyes, because that would be, if you mess it up, it's not going to look very good. One thing I did forget to mention is I did put some Nulin Oil on that gray Seer beard, and I am then going to paint over it again with some gray Seer, not getting any into the recesses. For the belt, I'm just going to do a little bit of an edge highlighting with some Ahriman Blue. You can do something else if you would like, a lighter blue or Fenrisian gray, or just a gray in general. I wanted to keep it kind of bluish greenish to match the theme. All right, for the robes, the Aeldari Emerald portion, we're going to do some Sybarite Green. And all we're really working on is just those raised areas of our robe. We're not trying to overdo it. We're not trying to make it overpowered. We're also going to do this on the edging portion of the robe that is coming down, where it's kind of sticking up on the robe itself. So we're going to do that on the front and back. And again, don't try and overdo it. It's just going to add a little bit of highlight to it. Now for those same areas that we just went over, we're going to do some Gauss Blaster Green, and we're going to go over those same exact areas. Again, we're not trying to overdo it. We're just trying to add some of that lighter color to make it stand out just a little bit more. All right, for the back portion of the robe, we're just going to put some Warpstone Glow on the top portions of our robe. And what this does is it kind of smooths out the entirety of our robe. It makes it look real nice, and it makes it look, because I'm assuming with a lot of this Dark Angels green, it does get a little blotchy, so then it just keeps the transition smooth, and the robe will look really smooth. All right, after you're done with the Warpstone Glow, we're going to take some Elysian Green and we're going to do some edge highlighting on that. So we're just kind of going around the edging of that robe and a little bit of the areas on the back that are raised and just picking out some of that with the Elysian Green. Again, we don't want to overdo this. You just want to kind of make it stand out and give it some edging and not go crazy with it. For our areas that on the brown portion on the bottom of our staff, we're going to do a little bit of Hobgrot Hide. Again, if you wanted to put some Aggrath Earthshade on there, you absolutely could. It is up to you. Again, I decided not to, but either or it would be fine with or without it. To highlight up our top green areas, we're going to do some Moot Green on there. Again, we're not getting anything into the recesses. We're just brightening that up at the top. For our bottom portion of our log, we're just going over the raised areas with some Gorthor Brown just to give it some more depth, as Cygor Brown is a very dark, dark brown. For our little leather pouch on the side, we're going to do some Mournfang Brown on there. And then to highlight up our little owl, all we're really going to do is go over the raised areas with some Skrag Brown, keeping a lot of those undertones there. So you got the dark brown underneath and the light brown on top, and we're all going to do that. For the last little bit on the owl, we're just going to put some big black eyes in there. So we're going to use some Abaddon Black, and you can make them as big as you want. I made them a little bit bigger because obviously owls have big eyes. For our sickle, we are going to paint that over with some Iron Breaker just to brighten it up. All right, coming down to the wire here. Now, obviously, I had put some paste down of some Stirland Mud before I had primed it. If you obviously don't want to do it this way, I just do it this way to save time. I'm going to put some Aggaros Dunes down, and then I am going to do your favorite part of painting the miniature, because it means you're done, is the rim of the base in Abaddon Black. A lot of the times I'll take some Black Legion, paint the rim, let it dry, and then just do a little touch-up of Abaddon Black, but it's up to you. Either or will work. But that's it. That's all she wrote right there, and actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to turn out. And I was kind of intimidated by this miniature a little bit, not knowing how to do a color scheme, and then kind of messing around and getting some ideas, and actually turned out better than I thought. And I really can't wait for this miniature to get on the table, because I feel like it is a really, really, really awesome miniature. I'm interested to see how this hero plays and how good it is in this Darkwater. Now, I am trying to play this game, but I need to finish the miniatures first, so I'm shooting for a March type scenario of playing this with a buddy of mine. So we're trying to get there. So we're going to try and pump these videos out as soon as possible. Anyways, I want to say thank you again to all my YouTube members. You guys are absolutely amazing. I can't thank you guys enough for your support. Anybody who supports this channel, shares it, subscribes to it, can't thank you guys enough. But more to come on some Darkwater. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, paints on.